All right, we're going to have a chugging contest.
Right.
That's cool. Welcome, Forrest. Good to have you back.
Thank you very much.
Now, the last time you were here, I introduced you. What was your title then?
You know, I was a captain then.
Okay, and now you are?
I was promoted as of last December to a deputy chief position.
There you go.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you.
And by the way, this segment of the show is our community spotlight, and it's sponsored by the great folks at Gateway Bank. Where's James? James is right there. He is. Thank you, Gateway Bank. And this is part of the hydration campaign. We all know in the desert you got to stay hydrated. So I'm going to let you talk about this. What's going on with all this water? Do you pack this everywhere you go?
You know, I at least pack one of these everywhere I go. And any of the healthcare providers or chiropractors, anybody here in the audience understands the importance of hydration. And so one of the things that we typically talk about every year is the importance to keep water with you and always to stay hydrated. Like most of you, I drink coffee, and maybe the night before, or a couple nights before, I might have other libations. But these diuretics have a coffee and soda.
Get out of here.
And so what we want to remind people is the importance of staying hydrated. And that's where, when we look at the Mesa Hydration Program, this is the 9th year that we've done this. We've been working with the United Food Bank. And basically, there are about 14 collection sites throughout the city where people throughout the community, businesses can drop off water. And then those, of course, go to the United Food Bank, and they're distributed throughout different nonprofits throughout the valley.
That's awesome.
So this goes until September 18th. Last year, we collected 392,044 bottles of water, and with a goal of 375,000. This year, our goal is to collect 400,000 bottles. And so, again, we're right on track from what I understand. At those collection points, you can go anywhere and just see just stacks, and it just speaks volumes to our community, and especially our business community, and how the support that you give the city, that you give the citizens here, and especially our homeless and unsheltered community.
Oh, that's awesome. 400,000 bottles. Now, when you say bottles, you're not talking about this.
I'm not talking these. Those 16.8 ounce bottles typically is what you'll get. They're a lot easier. I mean, they cost under $5, and just the value that those have on people, and just the opportunity we can do to save lives. Really, that's the key to all this as well.
That's fabulous. You know what they always say? If you wait until you're thirsty, you've waited too long.
Right.
You're already, and I've always believed that too with hunger. So I just eat pretty much 24/7, right. So that I never get hungry.
Stay ahead of it.
Yeah, stay ahead of the game. No, this is great. Extreme heat. Talk a little bit about this chart.
Yeah, what I wanted to do is, thank you, Bob. We wanted to put together a graphic just to talk about the importance of water. And again, if you were to talk to your primary health provider, a chiropractor, anybody, they would tell you, and outside of air conditioning, it's obviously to keep a cool environment, but our high-risk community doesn't have access to a lot of those niceties that we have. And so when you look at the impact and the people who are at risk, it's typically the older community, children, people who have cardiac problems, and of course, people without air conditioning. And so it just reinforces that necessity to get out into the community. Now, what I did is I have 10 gallons of water right here. This would be, basically, to back up a little bit, the average person has about 60% of their bodies made up of water. And so if you consider somebody who is about, let's say a 133-pound person, but let's just even go from there. 133-pound person, we're looking at about 10 gallons of water. So most of your audience can't see that, but if you have 10 gallons of water, imagine the impact as you start to lose water from dehydration. And most of the water, of course, is for our brain, and that's why when people start to get dehydrated and they start to lose the hydration, that's when you start seeing that altered mentation because of the impact that it has on the brain. And so the more water you lose, you can see the impact that it has on the body. Muscle spasms, fatigue, some of those things, all related to water. So it's a lot of things that we know, but if you tie that into what's going on with the homeless and unsheltered, now you've got a problem where, for the most part, those folks can't catch up.
Right, wow. That's awesome. Now, you said how many distribution points are there?
There are 14 distribution points. One would be our volunteer center over on Adobe and Lindsay, and then roads. And then if you go to mesaz.gov/H2O, there's a link up there. It is. If you go to that site right there, it'll show you all the collection sites. And so as businesses, if you'd like to collect and then donate as a business, reach out to us through the chamber. Oh, yes, right. The chamber has a collection site as well. And if you'd like to post images and that sort of thing, let us know, send something to us, and we'll repost those sites as well. Repost your links on our social media sites as well.
That's awesome. You know what? If you're a business, why don't you make it kind of a fun team building thing and challenge another business around the corner and to a pizza contest. Whoever raises the most money, the other person buys a pizza. Would that be good?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, you know, I try and help.
No, anything that inspires competition to get this going. But see, this thing, it goes back to our community. And I always, every time I'm up here, I get the opportunity to talk about how great a community we have and the engagement. And we've gone from this population where everybody says it's growing, but our city is growing, but it's also getting smaller because of the engagement we have from everybody. And that's the fun part, seeing the regular faces here, seeing everybody out doing things. And so that's what speaks to volumes of how we're collecting water, how we collect everything. When we're doing donation programs, we always see the engagement of our business community as well.
That's awesome. Well, Forrest, you're a great friend of the show and a great friend of Mesa. You gonna hang around a little bit if anybody's got any questions?
I'm gonna stick around for a while.
All right, if anybody, Forrest is a real easy guy to chat with, trust me.
Thank you.
So if you got any questions, hang around and he'll be sure and do it. Do your thing. If everybody would just chip in 10 gallons, boy, what a difference we could make to the community. So, how many? Or 10 cases?
Yeah, 10 cases.
Yeah, well, I'm starting out low. 10 cases, 10 truckloads. If everybody would do 10 truckloads, and Forrest will take them off your hands.
Yes.
Big round of applause once again for Mr. Forrest Smith. Thank you so much. Thank you, sir. Thanks, man.